Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Whenever we look for value in stocks around here, we always consult with Tracey Ryniec, who's our value stock strategist at Zacks.com. She generally always has at least a couple of opinions for us, a couple of stocks to throw our way in the value category, Macy's being one of them. M, the ticker symbol. Boy, that retail sector is pretty interesting.
It is. You know, there's like the haves and the have-nots. Macy's right now is in the haves. They run Macy's, obviously, and also Bloomingdale's, which some people forget. So they're kind of in the little bit of the upper bracket to some extent. They also have online, which is doing really well for them right now. But they just reported their second quarter and had their best spring in 10 years. So for them, so far, they're not really seeing a slowdown. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty bold. I mean, sure, there's been a couple rocky years in those last 10 years, but 10 years? Wow, I mean, good for them. Yeah. So they raised guidance for the second or third time this year. They keep raising the guidance. Their sales were better than expected. They had same-store sales up 6.4%, which was above their estimate. Online was about 1.2% of that, but the online sales were up 40%. But, you know, they've been kind of dragging in the online category. I'm kind of surprised it's taken these bigger retailers up until now to figure out the online story, but now they are, and it's starting to really impact their bottom line as well. So they have that going for them. But like I said, the estimates are rising here. The analysts are at the upper end of their range because I think they think they're going to blow by that in the next 2 quarters. But the chart is also kind of interesting. They have had the big pullback that we've seen in the last couple of weeks with stocks in general, making Macy's pretty cheap. They're under 10 times here at about 9.5 times. It's a great value story, and they're supposed to grow earnings about 24%. So they have both the growth and the value.
PPG Industries, PPG the ticker symbol, they just reported recently too.
They did. Completely different area.
Scenario, yeah.
Yeah, they manufacture coatings, paints, chemicals, things like that. It's all, you know, the industrial side. They've been in business since 1883 out of Pittsburgh, so they've seen it all. And they just reported their best quarter ever. So again, like, they're not seeing a slowdown yet, but a lot of part of their business has been kind of switching into the emerging markets. They recently just announced that they acquired a kind of smaller coatings manufacturer in Colombia. They've been expanding in Latin America and Asia. You know, there is demand for their kind of the industrial chemicals and things like that in those areas, so that is adding to the bottom line. But you know, they too had just like a really good quarter. Sales were up about 15%. Like I said, it was their best ever. They are seeing a little bit of pressure on with raw material costs because as crude stays high and some of their input costs are going up, but they have been able to pass it on to customers. So for now, that's not an issue with them, but it is something to watch with this kind of company. And then the chart is really interesting on this one because it's been basically a straight up shot after the 2009 lows, and then we've had a really big turn down here. So the shares are only priced at a little under 12 times, which is very attractive for this kind of company. And they also pay a dividend, which is yielding 3% right now, which is also a very good dividend. And they haven't ever cut the dividend, and I like saying this, since 1899.
That's a long time.
So they've paid, consecutive, well, I shouldn't say they never cut it, but they paid consecutively every quarter since then. So, it's a pretty good solid play on the big global growth story.
Yeah, if that doesn't indicate stability, then I don't know what does.
Right.
Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
All right, check out more stock pick suggestions for yourself on our homepage, Zacks.com. 4 new ones go up there for you daily, one in each of the investing categories that we write about. Tracey's included. With Tracey Ryniec, I'm Terry Ruffalo.